Now, the name of this episode is Wise Counsel Beats Lone Wolf Leadership. And our scripture reference will be Proverbs 15:22. So let me tell you about Jake. Now, Jake ran a growing digital marketing agency with about 15 employees. Sharp guy, real visionary when it came to helping clients grow their business online. But Jake had one massive blind spot. He absolutely hated asking for help. Every major decision, whether to hire a new account manager or how to price the retainer packages or even signing a 5-year lease on new office space, Jake made completely on his own. And his reasoning is he didn't want to look weak in front of the team. He thought, well, I got hired to be the CEO. I should have all the answers. That's what they're paying me for. Well, for about 3 years, this approach seemed to work fine. The agency was growing, clients were happy, revenue was climbing. But then came a brutal quarter that changed everything. Their biggest client, that was worth about 40% of their monthly revenue, fired them over a campaign that completely missed the mark. Now, Jake had insisted on a strategy that his team had quietly questioned, but he'd pushed forward anyway. So 2 weeks later, the head of operations, easily their most valuable employee, quit without warning because he felt like his input was never valued. Now, suddenly, Jake found himself working 80-hour weeks, trying to do 3 people's jobs while scrambling to replace the lost revenue. He was making critical business decisions at 11 o'clock at night when he was exhausted and overwhelmed. Finally, during what felt like the lowest point, Jake sat down with a business mentor he'd been avoiding for months. And he said, I feel like I'm carrying all of this completely alone. Now, the mentor looked at him and said something that cut straight to the heart. You are carrying it alone, Jake, but that was your choice. You had people who wanted to help, and you shut them out because you thought that made you look strong. So how's that working out for you? Well, that conversation was a real wake-up call and one that Jake needed. He realized he had confused independence with leadership, when real leadership actually means building a team you trust enough to lean on. In Proverbs 15:22, it says, plans will fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. So this isn't just about getting advice when you're in crisis mode. It's about intentionally inviting perspective and wisdom before you make decisions that could hurt your business or your people. God designed leadership to be a team sport. The lone wolf approach isn't strength, it's pride disguised as self-reliance. And pride has a way of making small problems into big ones. So what do you do with Jake's story in this proverb? Well, I'd say first, identify your danger zones. Where are you most likely to make fast solo decisions? Is it hiring, financial choices, strategic direction? Those are exactly the areas where you need outside perspective most. And then second, build a circle of advisors, not cheerleaders. You don't need people to tell you what you want to hear. You need wise voices who care more about your success than your comfort. These are people who are unimpressed by your title, and they will tell you the truth whether you agree with it or not. And third, I'd say ask for input early, not just in crisis. Strong leaders invite counsel before problems become disasters. Make it normal to say, before I decide this, let me get some perspective from people I trust. So if this struck a nerve, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not supposed to be alone. Share this with another leader who might be carrying too much right now. Remember, God gives wisdom, but sometimes he delivers it through the people around you. Wise counsel beats lone wolf leadership. See you next time.